welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another Christmassy t-shirt. Look at this one, it says holiday workout and it's a wine bottle opener. Love it. Welcome to the second video, Christmassy video on this channel, and if you're new, remember to subscribe please. And today I thought I would bring you Spanish Christmas traditions. Now most of these are from what I've actually seen, but I've also actually spoken to my Spanish friends and they've helped me out with lots of the typical meal traditions, because yes, I've lived in Spain for 14 years, but obviously I've lived in an English household, so unless I've been to my friends' houses during the Christmas period and seen what's happened at the house or eaten something typical, there's lots of things that I didn't know about, so I wanted to ask, and it's really interesting actually to find out. So I'm gonna tell you everything I know about Christmas in Spain. Okay, so starting off with what they say in Spain. To say Merry Christmas, they will say Feliz Navidad, which just means Merry Christmas, or they would say Felices Fiestas, which is like Happy Holidays. And another thing, obviously, they'll say closer to the new year is Próspero Año Nuevo, which means like have a prosperous new year, obviously. So they're like typical things they will say in Spain if you are there at Christmas time. Now I'd also like to speak about the days of Christmas, because they're a little different to the last video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it here, which is the English Christmas traditions. They're a little bit different because yes, they have Christmas Eve, they have Christmas Day, but they don't really have Boxing Day. They don't know what that is. They never celebrate the day after Christmas, but they do celebrate the 5th of January, which is El Día de los Reyes Magos, which is the Day of the Three Kings. So generally, typically on Christmas Eve, Spanish will basically get together. They have very typically big families. They'll all get together and have a massive Christmas dinner. Lots of people actually open their presents on Christmas Eve, on the 24th of December, whereas others like us in England leave it to the morning of the 25th. So again, it depends on the family. And then on the day of the 25th, from what I have seen, they wake up in the morning, they will open their presents, and again they'll have a big Christmas lunch, which we'll speak about the food later, but it's very different than England. So they'll have a typical Christmas lunch, and then after, lately when I've been in Spain, the last 4 or 5 years, around 5-6 o'clock, all the Spanish will go out to the club and get drunk. And that has been a Spanish tradition that I have actually lived for a couple of years as well. 5 or 6 o'clock, when I finished the Christmas dinner, I'd get ready and I'd go out and party. So it's typical, I think, on the 25th and also on the 24th to go out and party. And I know a lot of my friends always used to go out on the 24th and get drunk and then be hungover on Christmas Day. I never did that, but it's a typical thing that young people tend to do. And then typically they also have the 5th of January, as I've said, and this is when they will have a massive lunch with all family, and they will have some typical traditions which I'll tell you about later. But yeah, they kind of celebrate more the Three Kings than Christmas. Like Santa Claus, they don't really celebrate Santa Claus as much, so they prefer, lots of people that I know prefer the Three Kings. But then again, they probably still have some presents at Christmas and then some presents at Three Kings, so they kind of got like 2 separate Christmas days, which is cool. But yeah, mostly Three Kings is more celebrated than the actual day of Christmas. Okay, now regarding food, also sorry for the mess, regarding food is the part which obviously I didn't know a lot about. Now I had known that Spanish tend to have on the day of Christmas a lot of seafood. It tends to be kind of the food that they don't really cook during the year. It's a special day to cook all of this food, maybe the more expensive food, so they'll have like prawns, cigalas, which I'll put a picture up of them now, and they're basically like all this kind of seafood. I'm just going to move you a bit. So yeah, all of the seafood, and kind of before they have the seafood, they'll kind of have a soup with either like a fishy soup or a soup with pilotes. I'll put up a picture also, it's very Valencian, but it's like basically meat balls. So they'll have that soup, and then they'll have their main course with the seafood. Sometimes for snacky food they would also have Kurogidas, which is a typical Spanish food. If you've never had it, try it, it's amazing. It's like depends, you can either have fish or ham inside, like in some cream, and then wrapped with like breadcrumbs, so it's kind of like a nugget. but creamier inside, I guess. And moving on to like desserts in the food, which I think is probably the best part of Spanish Christmas. They have a lot of desserts. So one of them they have is called Polyvedones, which is a type of shortbread like with flour, and they're really good. So they have Polyvedones. I'll put up pictures of everything. They also have turrón. Oh my god, turrón. It's like a bar of chocolate basically, like with nougat in. Oof, it is so good. Yeah, turrón is very good. And I've also been told that there is, now this isn't really a dessert, I don't know why I'm saying it now, but because it's called a cake I kind of put it in the dessert, but it's not. Anyway, a typical thing to make is a cake with sweet potato and jam. So I don't really know, it's a type of jam, it's called cabello de ángel. I will also put up a picture. It's made, I think, typically in Menorca or Mallorca, so it's a Spanish food, and they basically make it with sweet potatoes and jam inside, and it's like a cake. So I don't know whether to class that as like dessert or food, but it's like something they only cook at Christmas time. Okay, so Christmas traditions in Spain now. A very Christmassy tradition is to have lots and lots of Christmas dinners in the month of December running up to Christmas Day. Obviously not happening this year, but I have gone on a lot of Christmas dinners, and I guess they're all over the world. But yeah, it's very typical to go on like a Christmas dinner with an organisation, to go with your work, to go with your friends, all of this before you go like to kind of the week of Christmas with your family. So December is always like running up to Christmas. And they also always normally do Secret Santa, which is obviously it's a Secret Santa. You get a name and you buy that person a present without them knowing who it's from, and that's very typical in all of these dinners. So December tends to be quite an expensive month here in Spain. Okay, so regarding decorations, they obviously have a tree, but it's not really the main thing. The main thing in Spanish houses is normally a nativity, because they are quite religious. And another typical thing is lottery. The Christmas lottery is probably the thing when you think of Christmas in Spain that you're going to think of. They have a massive Christmas lottery on the day of Christmas, and people start buying the tickets literally in summer. It's crazy. They're quite expensive as well, these tickets, but like Christmas lottery is like the thing to do in Spain. Okay, so more Christmas traditions. This isn't really a Christmas tradition, but I thought it was worth mentioning that they have April Fool's Day in December. On the 28th of December is their April Fool's Day. And it's quite strange that they have it in December, but when I didn't know they had it in December and all my friends were like, oh, they've cancelled our New Year's Eve party, I was like, what? I never even knew they had an April Fool's Day in December, but that's the only April Fool's Day they have. They don't have one in April, so I thought that was fun to mention. And then regarding New Year's Eve, they do obviously do all the typical festivities that we all do all around the world, but one fun thing that they all do is eat 12 grapes during the bells at New Year's Eve. So like there's 12 bells on Christmas Eve. Every bell you have to eat a grape, and that is good luck for every month to come in the next year. So there's 12 months, 12 bells, 12 grapes. If you eat all 12, that means you're going to have good luck for the next 12 months. But it's really fun to do, and after they do that, then they get their champagne, their cheers, and then they just have their typical New Year's Eve party, which is really fun. And then last but not least, talking about the Three Kings, so what they do on the Three Kings to specially celebrate. Basically, in every single town in Spain, there is a cabalgata. That's basically like a parade around the village where there is the Three Kings, and all the children go around, they throw out some sweets, and then they come to a stage. Normally, typically, they get to a stage, and then they call out the names of the kids, and the kids go up and get presents from the actual Three Kings. I have done this once or twice when I was younger, just to not feel left out with all the Spanish kids. But yeah, they normally have like a cabalgata, which is like a massive parade, which obviously this year again, sadly, they can't do. And then a very typical thing to eat after the after the 3 year. Another typical thing to eat after the Three Kings lunch is el roscón de Reyes. I will put up a picture here. It's very famous. Every single like family in Spain eats one of these, and basically it's like I'd say it's a type of like sweet bread with like some cream inside. All of them can be different tastes, like vanilla, chocolate I think there can also be. And anyway, inside there is a little toy. in one of the little pieces, basically everybody cuts up the roscon and everybody in the family gets a piece. And typically, if you in that piece find the little toy, that means the next year you're paying for the roscon, which I think is amazing. But the last time I did that, I actually got the toy, and I haven't done it since. But yeah, I think it's a quite fun tradition to know about and to do, I guess. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new about Spanish traditions. I know obviously I'm not Spanish, so if you are Spanish and you know something else or something traditionally that you do, every family is different, so mention it down below. I'll be really, like, it's really interesting for me to learn all about this. And obviously, again, if you're from another country and you'd like to tell me your traditions, please do that down below. It's very interesting. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon for another Christmassy video. I think the next one will be my Christmas vlog. So I'll see you soon. Bye.